I hope you're having an amazing day. My name is Colin. In this video, we're going to have a look at the crypto market of today. Bitcoin sitting at about 44.5k, quite stable when we compare it. A very minor upward linear trend, as we can see. It did test that 45k mark here, and if we look at the daily for today, it did rise to about almost 44.9k, but not really, and then saw a little bit of a retraction. The fear and greed index still in the neutral section, from 51 yesterday back to 49, so a little bit of a step backwards. However, nothing to be afraid of, I would say. This is still very good. We're still aiming for that green section though, however. So definitely 45, 46k, an interesting price point. Ethereum still hanging about 3,000, over 3,000. So that's definitely a good point. I have accumulated quite some Ethereum right now. So I'm definitely bullish on the long-term focus of Ethereum. When we look at the top 100, Solana barely above 100, so that has seen a small decrease. Luna above 90, AVAX above 85. So definitely in the higher ranges currently. When we go to Matic 163, the Kronos, the CRO 46 cents. And when we scroll down, are there any significant daily gainers, except because of most are doing quite well across the last 7 days. VeChain making some steps today with about a 13% gain. Other than that, 5% right here, 4% on the Harmony 1. And then 5%, anything above 10%, 73% on Silica, holy fuck. Alright, that's a fucking huge jump. That must have been some major announcement. It's probably an exchange listing. Is it Binance? Likely. Yep, it's a Binance listing, as you can see. Can you imagine how much value that adds, such a listing? Because that basically just added literally 600 million in volume, even more. 2.8 billion, and the sky is the limit. It just pumped like crazy, almost double in value. Did they make that announcement? Let me see. Silica. Okay, so there were no real updates. Okay, will be listed on Jubo. Okay, so there was no big announcement in regards to actually listing on Binance, it appears. Maybe it was there already. Maybe it has to do with something else. But that's crazy because the Binance volume is off the chart. So I would expect that it has to do with the Binance listing. I'm not really too sure. But if we search Silica, let's see what people are saying about it. Does it have anything to do with the listing or what's going on? Okay, so a lot of people are definitely tweeting about the pump, right? About what's going on. Definitely a crazy candle, but it appears nobody basically saying about any listing. So it might be because of the ecosystem or something else. But definitely, I'm not going to go too much into detail what actually happened. But definitely a crazy breakout indeed. One huge fucking candle. Everybody's like, "What the fuck's happening?" Okay. 50% trading volume, okay, not that interesting, but definitely a strong pump. That's what I think everybody can see. Sitting at a market cap of about 1.1 billion, fully diluted just under 2 billion. Silica, definitely probably the strongest top 100 gainer today. 15% on Holo. Anything else? No. So definitely when we look at the percentages, I mean, yeah, the biggest one. So we covered the top 3. And across the last 7 days, Silica, the top gainer. I do want to check out the second page because I've been keeping up to date on the second page a little bit more. Any top gainers there? Storm, Origin, Trust Wallet. Okay, and today, basically the same ones. All right, quite interesting. I don't see immutable X or nothing there. Okay. Well, let's head over to the crypto gaming, right? Because that's what or at least that's what I'm here for primarily. The biggest gainer across the last 72 hours, Epic Prime. I don't know what that is. Radio Kaka, Mist, Wex, Tethan Arena. Again, making some gains. But you can definitely see that the gaming pump relative to Bitcoin, as I said yesterday and the day before yesterday, has relatively slowed down, right? That slowdown is obviously due to the fact that Bitcoin is basically in a little bit of a stabilization period. But of course, like, what the fuck are we talking about? 73% gain, 25% gain, 100% gain. That's huge. Across the last 7 days, and Mist basically doing the best. Faraland doing well, Fitcha doing well, Tethan Arena doing well, XC Infinity doing really well. Maybe sacrificing some of his gains today and yesterday, but it's obviously normal after such a huge pump. Quite interesting to see that Victoria is holding its value that well. All right, so here was the pump. There was a small decline, but not as significant. So definitely seeing some reversal there. Victoria VR, very strong in terms of how it has performed since the IDO, right? So on the launch, it did extremely well, and it has been able to keep up with that. We got the ApeCoin. So the real question is ApeCoin going to do something in the near future? You know, it went from about 9 billion traded in one day to about 1 billion. So it's definitely slowing down a little bit. 1.5 billion a day is still like insane amount of money, right? But we can definitely see that the majority of that volume is held across Huobi and Binance. And then basically we got Uniswap as well with some volume, but we're talking 400 million against 47 million. And then we got Deepcoin pushing 131 million. I don't know where that's from, but they basically have so many fucking exchanges. It's crazy. It's definitely real crazy, the amount of exchanges they're listed on. Might be the most exchanges. I'm not really too sure. But yeah, still good gains. Slow upward pattern for ApeCoin. There we got Gala, not doing that much. Engine at least recovering, so that's good. We got Illuvium stable, Ultra stable, as they were before, right? I think these are more matured projects. They really need some advanced announcements to perhaps pump, right? Yield Guild Games looking decent. Vulcan still above $10, so they definitely made some gains, right? But sacrificed some of his gains as well along the way. Victoria, we just discussed. Tethan Arena, we already discussed. Definitely CDFI, no recovery as of now, but we'll see that one again when we look at the launch pads. Merit Circle, stable. Alien Worlds. Well, Alien Worlds, I think, was gaining. It was Wilder World that was losing, but has gone slightly up. Krabata, the number one AFAX, still stable. Veracity, stable. So, I mean, like, that pump, because Bitcoin is not sacrificing, it didn't really result in too many problems. But if Bitcoin shoots down again, there will be significant problems in the gaming space, right? Because the gains that have occurred and that are quite significant, I mean 20 to 40% gains on the weekly, are quickly sacrificed when that downward trend sets in. So definitely exciting to see what is going to happen over the next couple of days in terms of the opportunities, where the opportunities are at. I want to have a quick look at Defina, if we can find it, all the way at the bottom probably, because the market cap is totally shit. Legends of Fantasy War, look at that, minus 30. Senate, minus 20. And that's basically the thing, right? What we said, those influencer pumps are not a good thing, right? So that's basically back at the original level. What about Sidus? Sidus was holding up a little bit better, but definitely I would say not that significant in terms of the pump that they did. Now you can definitely tell from this point of view, right, that it was like 17.8, 23. So it did hold its value a lot better than the Senate token. But still, I would say that's definitely not preferred if you're like a project owner. It doesn't make that much sense. Legends of Fantasy War down. fear, basically after the pump, as you can see here, losing almost its value that it gained. Polka War doing well, linear upward trend. And that's basically ideally what I would say is most common. You want that linear upward trend, not those huge pumps out of the blue, because the crash is imminent usually thereafter. So Defina, again, struggles to take control over the price. We're talking about 140 on launch, last 3 months, coming from $2 here on this pump, probably an Alex Becker shill in one of his videos, and then we're like 32 cents. So at this point, the question is, when are you going to make the entry, right? Because I mean, in my opinion, you're at 2 million market cap. If this market cap is correct, there's still some decent volume traded. You can't really go much lower than this relative to where it's been, in my opinion, right? Like, we're talking a fucking $9. It's at 31 cents right now. If this is not like an obvious pump, then I don't know what will be. Obviously the game, we've seen some gamers leave. I read the FUD, what's going on with the actual game. But in a market reversal, when Bitcoin pumps, I think Defina should at least get some traction. And it's just going lower and lower and lower. And at some point, you're going to miss the train if you keep waiting, right? I've said this many times. So perhaps a little bit more of a risky gamble. But that's, of course, why it's a micro cap and why you need to be very, very careful and do very thorough research when you look at these type of projects. The Neko still stable-ish after that big drop. Star Sharks, okay, very big drop. Nakamoto Games making good gains, but again, not linear upward, quite some pumps, right? And those pumps, as I said before, are not ideal. MEXC, pump and then linear upward. NFT World still in linear downward pattern. Star Sharks SSS token, at least better than their other token. I don't know the difference, but probably inflationary, deflationary. Duelist King basically going down. Outer Ring up. Cryo War stable, not really up. The 2% is not significant here. Network kind of stable still. RaceFi stable. Mobland shit project stable. Monkey League linear downward trend, losing value. Altura stable. Wisadia after its initial launch pump, keeping quite stable. So that's good. We got Magicraft right here after the announcement of the NFTs. And again, these are like pump announcements, right? So after the announcement of the NFTs, it saw a straight dump, exactly as I predicted, right? So these patterns are getting a lot more common to see because the market, the entire crypto gaming market, reacts on how Bitcoin moves. Unless there are significant announcements that can hold up the value, people are still fearful. So those announcements, those pumps where the price shoots up, the dump is imminent in the current market sentiment. So do be aware of that. Don't ride the hype waves because you'll get wrecked. Duckyland stable at around IDO price. Then we have anything else that's interesting right here. We got Rebel Bots. Basically, after making a huge run, it's quite stable, so that's good for them. Dogami, linear downward trend after the listing, makes sense. Lose some value, right? People start taking profit. PancakeSwap stable after some small hit. Engine starter, we'll see on the Launchpad, still a fucking disaster. What else do we have? Nothing really that interesting here at the lower, because here we're going basically, look how low these volumes are. This is real degen place. This is like, the market caps are so small, you can barely buy any couple of thousand worth of coins or you'll pump the price. So definitely, yeah, don't go to the third tab in this section. Let's have a look at the Launchpad. So crypto gaming, not really that much going on, but you can definitely see the patterns of the pump announcements, which you should be aware of. Biggest gainer on the Launchpad, CeeLo Launch, Meta VPAD is back. Very, very volatile Meta VPAD currently. Decubate, Navity, Daisy, Launchpad. I don't know what that is, but the volume is almost nothing, so it doesn't really count. Polka Bridge doing really well. So across the last 7 days, you can definitely see some healthy gains being made, right? Definitely not all launch pads, but definitely some launch pads. When we look at the biggest losers for the 24 hours, Bin Starter, there again, paid networks, basically your regular list. So all the launch pads that have been suffering, except for Astronaut, you can see them. So 5% shouldn't really be a problem. So I don't think, let's say, 5% for ETHPad is necessarily a problem, but for Engine Starter it is, because look at this graph, right? It's just linear downward trend. There's like literally, it appears that there's no hope really from the audience, and there's no like big purchases. And here you can still memepad, although it's like down across last 7 days, last 24 hours, you at least see the pump. There is some traction. They're probably making some announcements, trying to find a short-term solution for this linear downward trend problem. At least break the pattern with some announcements. I mean, like if you're desperate, then you gotta do some desperate measures, and at least they're doing something, which I think is important, right? Okay, so let's go back, filter on market cap, super farm at the top. So let's finish the launch pads, and then I'll talk about imposters real quick coming up, because that's tomorrow, the whitelist mint. Downmaker, stable, making solid gains. UFO Gaming making solid gains, although not a launchpad yet. Trust Swap, the same as yesterday, linear upward trend, and this is what we like to see, no pumps. GameFi, StarTerra, linear upward trend, definitely bullish. Paid Network, linear downward trend, although this graph looks a little bit fucked up. It's probably because the volume is not that significant, but here's like a big sell order, as you can see, and on the monthly, it's just because the volume is quite low. If you look at the daily volume, that's why the graph looks a little bit fucked up, but only 130k traded. When we, so for example, Torum has like $1 million volume, right? So definitely put that into perspective relative to the market cap. Communides, stable. What else do we have? All your regulars, free launch, losing value, again, linear downward trend. So basically, the best thing to see is a linear upward trend like this, right? No pumps. The worst thing you can see, Engine Starter, free launch, is a linear downward trend. Basically, signaling red flags all around. Engine Starter, same way. Vulture Peak with some bigger sell-offs, but basically linear downward trend as well. Linear upward trend right here. Linear upward trend right here. What else do we have? What else do we have? We have KingPad. So this is probably a staking unlock, like a huge drop and then stable again. It happens, right? That's what you have. When the staking is enabled, it pumps. And when the staking is disabled, it crashes. Or at least unlocks, right? When the staking is unlocked, not disabled, but unlocked. Yeah, so the Launchpad section still doesn't really look that great, although there's quite a big discrepancy right now on what is actually happening, right? Some things are pumping, some things are not pumping. Right, Superfarm Twitter, we're going to Imposters, because the Imposters mint is up, and we're going to have a look. Or no, it's not up yet, it's up tomorrow, but the information should be available. Obviously I'm following, and obviously I'm going to mint. I have 5 whitelist spots because I have some Neo Tokyo Citizens which get whitelisted. I have some Superfarm Genesis NFT that got me a whitelist. So that mint is tomorrow. What time? That's quite late for me. That's like in the evening, 9 p.m. in the evening. But I'll be minting. They're unrevealed, so I'll be minting 5. I think they're one Ethereum each. I don't think it has been announced yet. But probably will be announced tomorrow. I don't think, yeah, the price is to be announced. I was in a Discord earlier today. It's also not been announced there yet, but it's 1 per wallet, and then I distributed my whitelists across the wallets. I don't know if I made it in time for the snapshot, so maybe it was definitely 3 wallets, and then I distributed the NFTs across 2 other wallets. So I have at least 3 mints, maximum 5 mints. And then the reveal will come sometime after. I'm bullish on this in the long term. I like what Elliot is doing. I fuck with the haters. I support him. I think it's great. You should be able to agree and disagree and still support somebody. So I don't always agree with what he's doing or what he's saying. But in this case, I like this project. I like everything about it. I listened to his AMAs. They were great, very honest, at least as honest as possible, I would say. Very understanding. And I think he did a lot of effort correcting his initial announcements that were not that well received by the audience. So I think something to be said as a project owner, if you're willing to own up to what audience perceives as a mistake. So Elliot, shout out to you, Elio. You're a real one. Asuki on the NFT marketplace and taking the #1 position on highest volume. Floor price going up to 19. Bought at Yacht Club about 103.5 Ethereum. 22.9 on the Mutants. CryptoPunks, nothing. CloneX 15. Doodles 14.5. 8.3 on the Canal Club. We're seeing on the MeBits 5.8. Added Dust dropping a little bit to 1.55. Motherfuckers 3, so that's definitely up. NFT Worlds 11.7, a little bit down. Sandbox 2.4. VCon Tickets is basically shooting up with a 2 Ethereum floor price currently. Metaverse Genesis 1.63. Invisible Friends 6.2. Fee Friends 14.9, still holding strong. The Chemistry Club at about 35. Mavia Land 0.94, very, very strong. After the video I made, I think it was 0.64, so a 33% gain in 1 week. Good job to them. It makes a lot of sense. I like the project. Neo Tokyo Outer Identities 2.9. Snoop Dogg, I haven't followed this. I don't know what it is specifically. Karafuru 2.4. Hape Prime 1.35. Pixelmon all the way down to 0.42. I added 3 Ethereum mint. That's fucked up. Real fucked up, but I think that has been said. And Journey Club 1.35 coming from like a 5 Ethereum all-time high, I believe, a couple of weeks ago. Also fucked up. White Sands Parcel Pass is pumping to 1.2. They did announce a teaser that they basically we're going to have a major new partnership announcements. Bullish. Neo Tokyo Citizens sitting at about 16.9. And I believe that's the entire list of everything that I'm following. I'm just going to scroll down. All right, Treefus, nothing. Superfarm Genesis, but that's not the ones that are eligible for the actual ranking. So if you want the imposters, the screenshot, the snapshot has already been taken, so it's not really useful anymore, but it's everything except the Falcon and Jazz that can qualify you. And what would qualify you specifically? So they're 0.8 Ethereum. So as soon as they did mention that you need to hold on to the NFT to get your whitelist spot, there was some debate. How are they going to check this? What's happening with that? But I mean, that's what I said. And there was definitely a significant drop after the announcement was gone. The institution is like 25 Ethereum. Yeah, there's only a couple of those. So you can definitely see that the price was about 1 Ethereum, 1.3. And the 24th, they made the announcement, and then the price crashed to basically 0.4. Right? Right here. People just dumping the NFTs after the snapshot. It would be cool if they did check it, because I'm not selling mine. I'm keeping mine long term. I got the Pool Shark, which is quite cool. But if they would basically check it and they punish the paper hands, I think that would be the right thing to do, because they did not announce that for, or at least without a reason, I would say. So definitely to be taken into consideration. Oh, I did see the... Did I skip that one? Where's the red one? I just saw it. The Nano Pass right here, 2.83. And then we were on the second page, Super Farm Genesis Collection. And then my Pet Hooligan 1.14, which I am interested in. And that's it. That's basically everything for today. So yeah, crypto market quite stable. We're keeping our eye on Bitcoin primarily. For the crypto gaming, but if you definitely look at the 7 days, at the 1 month, it's looking quite good as of right now, but the next couple of days will be very, very exciting. So make sure to join the Digits Club in the link in the description. It will take you to Discord, where we talk every day about the opportunities that are currently present in the market. This was everything for today. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. you.